Hello, everybody. In this video, I'm going to deliver a lecture on cognition and knowledge. So this is the outline of our today's lecture. So we are going to discuss about gnoseology, the word cognition problem, gnoseological optimism, gnoseological pessimism, the subject and the object of cognition. So what is the gnoseology? Gnoseology is the branch of philosophy that studies the nature, origin, and limits of human knowledge. And it is also known as epistemology. So briefly, shortly, so gnoseology, research or studies the human knowledge. Gnoseology examines fundamental questions about how we know what we know, and the reliability of our knowledge, and the relationship between our mind and the world. So the key concept in gnoseology includes justification, truth, belief, evidence, and rationality. So, as for the knowledge, so here Russell spoke about knowledge. So I think he's very skeptic because he says knowledge is a term that cannot be precisely defined. All knowledge is doubtful to some extent, and we also cannot say at what degree of doubt it ceases to be knowledge. Just as we cannot say how much a person must lose hair to be considered bald, So this is the explanation or definition of knowledge from Russell. So Immanuel Kant, with regards to cognition, he proposed such idea. Immanuel Kant claims that transcendental idealism, which indicated that man was not a passive entity but was part of a progressive process in terms of obtaining knowledge. So these sentences indicate or suggest that Immanuel Kant claims that our cognition or the cognition or the knowledge is obtained passively. Furthermore, Kant argued that our knowledge or the knowledge of human being is shaped by both our senses and our understanding. He believes that we can only know the world as it appears to us, not as it is in itself. So later on, we'll delve his explanation regarding the obtaining of knowledge in the upcoming sections. So while Descartes focused on rationality, Kant emphasizes the role of both reason and experience in shaping our knowledge. He argued that our understanding structures our experience rather than simply reflecting it. So cognition is the activity aimed at receiving knowledge. The basic question is the cognition limits. With which of the real things and process can we recognize for sure? So while solving or while addressing at this fundamental question, two philosophical directions were formed. So the first one is Gnosticism and agnosticism. Gnosticism is the philosophical doctrine insisting that the world is perceived, whereas agnosticism is the philosophical doctrine insisting that the world is not perceived. So agnosticism, according to Kant, the thing in itself nominal, and as it perceived by man, the thing for us phenomenon. According to Immanuel Kant, human can cognize only the phenomenon, the thing for us, the thing which we can see, we can touch, or we can observe, but the real thing is not perceived. So Kant's thing in itself is unknowable. The intellect cannot contemplate anything, and the senses cannot see anything. So, according to Kant, nomenon, the thing in itself, is unknowable, whereas phenomenon, the thing for us, the thing which is seen or which can be seen by us, is perceived. And George Berkeley also like also suggested uh, the human knowledge or the human knowledge is perceived through the ideas. So according to Berkeley, ideas are mental entities. They cannot resemble physical entities because the two types of things have completely different properties. A painting or a photograph can resemble a physical object because it is itself a physical thing. But to think of an idea as resembling a physical object is to mistake it for a physical thing itself. So here, what we are really understanding are mental things. The world is constructed purely of thought, and whatever is not self-perceiving exists only as one of our perception. So this is the brief explanation of George Berkeley regarding the obtaining of knowledge. So René Descartes, also added or contributed to the cognition understanding. René Descartes says, I think means the presence of a conscious subject. I think the world. And self-conscious, I claim that I think. The gnoseological direction, therefore, has objective consciousness as self-consciousness. In this case, thinking about thinking. Here, a person acts as an observer of nature, as an author of hypotheses, and an organizer of their verification. So we have uh, provide the information uh, about about like obtaining knowledge. So there were two directions: gnoseological optimism and gnoseological pessimism. So the gnoseological pessimism optimists believe that all the process of the surrounding world can be studied and known. Even if some phenomena are not fully understood at the current level of development of sciences, they will certainly become available in the future. So they are sure or they are positive that unknown things will be studied, will be researched, and will be known in the future. As for the gnoseological pessimists, they they say that the possibility of cognition is considered to be limited. Pessimists assume that there will always be questions that cannot be answered. Within the framework of the pessimistic approach, there are two philosophical directions. The first one is skepticism, and second one is agnosticism. The skepticism, doubt, is considered to be a principle of thought necessary for obtaining information. Agnosticism, this philosophical concept is based on the assertion that it is impossible to know the world, and the people cannot get reliable knowledge about its structure since its nature is beyond our understanding. So, dear students, thank you very much for attending, for watching my video, and for especially thanks for those who have been watching my video. So, thank you very much. If you have any questions regarding today's lecture, I am open to discuss with you during our seminar hours, and see you on our seminar. Have a good day.